What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here in the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Friday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me, and this video goes a long way for you. That way you become a president of great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. We've hit 3 locks in a row. Looking pretty brutal to start here with San Antonio getting completely eviscerated. At least, hey, second play of the game, Jaylen Warren goes over his 13.5 longest rush yards. That felt pretty sharp. The San Antonio Spurs one is not currently here at the moment. Hopefully CP3 leads a comeback for the ages, and emphasis on the age because he's old. But we've got 8 games. We're ready to rock. I'm going to talk about Tails a little bit later. That is Tails by Odd Chopper. If you want to follow all of my plays, we'll give you exactly how. Now, you can get a jump start by just heading to the video description box below and doing so. And you can get it free when you sign up with one of our 11 links. We will talk about that a little bit later. But producer Jacob is ready to rock. I'm ready to roll. Let's get to the picks. I'm also going to start by saying thank you to absolutely everybody out there that was so kind. Again, it was one of those things where it was just a little tilting. And, well, I'm tilted today just because it seems as though, can we get Rudy Gobert to go over these boards here to finish out this game? That would make me especially happy. That would make me especially happy. I need 12 of those puppies. He's got 7. There's 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Okay, we got some time. We're looking all right there. That would be good there at the old plus 105 number. As soon as I say that, he just clobbers Jakob Poeltl. All right, that's only his first foul. All right, we continue on to Brooklyn at Philly. We should probably talk about the games that are going on Friday, right? Yeah, Brooklyn, Philly. This is an interesting one. Ben Simmons, does he duck Philly? Does he duck Philly? I think there's a chance he ducks Philly, but Dorian Finney-Smith questionable, Nicholas Claxton, can I even talk? Claxton questionable. And then, of course, Joel Embiid coming back here into Philly. I'm very curious to see I'm curious to see the crowd just in the aftermath of going down to Mahimo Ami and then being told that he's lazy by Tyrese Maxey. And then they, lose again. And that was pretty brutal down in Memphis. Walking in Memphis. That's literally what Joel Embiid did because he can't run anymore. And then Kelly Oubre probably going to step into the starting lineup because Paul George, he had a left knee bone bruise. Probably the best case situation on that one. That's for sure. So just giving you the heads up. But I run all of these numbers here. Kelly Oubre has not been the Kelly Oubre of old. He has not been Tsunami Poppy to start off the season, but 6.5. The only reason that I'm even leaning on the 6 right now is that you've got Joel Embiid there. You've got half a point over every other book if you go to FanDuel for this one. But overall, this is probably my least favorite game, although I cannot wait to see the crowd reaction. I heard Philly, they have opinions and stuff. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, I will be tuning in. I'll be tuning into this one because I have a parlay. Yes, you heard me. I have a parlay, and I have an insane potential triple-double play coming up a little bit later. But Boston, 14.5-point favorites taking on the Washington Wizards. I don't know if you know this, but we cashed a lock earlier in the season betting Boston. Now, what has changed here potentially? Well, one thing that changed from that second game of the season where, again, it ended up being a little bit tighter than it needed to be, but we cashed it. We've got ourselves more minutes for Peyton Pritchard in pretty much all situations than what we expected there in that spot. And I think it gives us an angle and a little bit of an opportunity to really, really hone in on parlays where you couple the blowout run beneficiaries with some of these larger spreads. Now, it's hard with Golden State because they can go to an array of different people, but even in closing lineups when they're up 15, 16, 17, they said it before the season, and it's come to fruition. They want to give Peyton Pritchard the run against some of these bad teams and let him do some of the work to relieve duties on Jaylen Brown, to relieve duties on Jason Tatum, to relieve duties on everybody that is really, really, really going to matter come playoff time. Now, Peyton Pritchard, he's going to matter come playoff time too if he continues his torrid play here of late. But yeah, I think this is an awesome opportunity to potentially just kind of couple the two together rather than just go out of our way to fire up a unit here on this one. I think half a unit is just fine. I'm calling this a lean light because I do think the 15 plus number on FanDuel based on historical data is going to look all right. Now, if a bunch of people, if everybody who watches this, all 10,000 of you end up firing up the same play, maybe it doesn't look as good as what we're hoping, but I think we're going to have a great opportunity to put these two together and get us some cheddar. I didn't even plan on that rhyming. That was fantastic. I'm a poet and I don't even think about it. Golden State -9 taking on the Pelicans. That was genius too. We got ourselves an interesting spot here with the Pelicans. So much injury news. Jordan Hawkins dancing his khaki pants. Brandon Ingram and yet via this messy Evis Messi. There we go. They are all three questionable for this one. CJ McCollum upgraded to doubtful. If you were to randomly from the clouds get upgraded yet again from doubtful to questionable, which I don't take off the table when you see doubtful for the first injury designation in forever on a guy, I think you probably would want to be on the New Orleans side. And that's so wild to say, but we see 8.5 and then 10s. There's an 8.5 linger on DK right now. I have no idea why it's just sitting there, but I'm not going to tango with that one. If I tangoed with anything here at the moment, I got to hone in on this Golden State side. They are running fresh body thotties out every single day. D'Anthony Melton, he's out for the season. I'm kind of bummed for that because he looked good when he got the starting nod. But Lindy Waters III, he's going to be out there doing his thing. Oklahoma's finest. You got Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, and Steph Curry. Then you also have Kyle Anderson back into the fray, not the band. Gary Payton II, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield has been insane off the bench. Kevon Looney if they need size. I mean, there's just so many opportunities for Golden State to really put the hurt on people and really get the best of their minutes on the defensive side. That's why they've had a really nice record to start off this year. It has very little to do with offensive acumen, although Steph Curry, useful to have him on your side, not the other team's side. I know this because I watched the Olympics. 11-3 Golden State Warriors. I'd be looking at the under 221.5, but not currently on my card. Hopefully somehow, some way, this one pushes up to north of 223 or at 223. It would be a play for a half unit. We bypassed that one. And don't worry. I know it's gone lean. Eric, what do you need plays? Well, I've got one for you here. And it's probably my second favorite that exists on the board. I think the favorite is going to be the triple-double, and people like my home run plays. And, well, I think we've got a really good shot. I'll give you the ins and outs of that one. But Indy, 4.5-point dogs taking on Milwaukee. We've had that same kind of injury news on some ancillary guys, Ben Shepherd, Jarris Walker, but holy crap, where did Quentin Johnson, I didn't even say his name right, Quentin Jackson, that Quentin Johnson fellow plays for the Chargers, so I should know my sports, but I'm just getting at, like, what did we even just witness there? Tyrese Halliburton's been brutal. We've talked about it forever. I think his shoulder is still bum. He should probably take some time off, but probably won't because he is just, I don't know why. But 27 minutes out of Quentin Jackson against Houston. He was the one bright spot in a dim game. 24 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds in his first start. Oh, darling, that was a wild, juicy little pepper. I don't know what that saying is for. I apologize. But I'm looking at the under of 236 here in this one, purely because I have this at 231.5. Now, the reason that it's not a lock, it's like, Eric, we just locked the one that had like a 4 or 5 point disparity the other time. We're looking at the under here, and we have Indy Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure we're going to get some pace in this one in some capacity. However, this is an inflated type number, and, well, you have more points, and you're not as valuable getting 4.5 as opposed to getting 4.5 at 220. I hope that makes sense to you. I can explain it at some point if you really want me to. But anyway, let's explain Tails first. Tails package for free. Well, it's a $50 value coming to you just by signing up with one of our 11 partners on your screen. Haven't signed up for Pick 6 in the Pick'em Streets yet? Well, bet 5, get 50. And then you're going to get all of those Pick 6 credits. That's going to be lovely. And then you're going to get a free month of me. Well, bet 365 if it's available in one of your states. Bet 5, get 150 in bets in the sportsbook side. That's the 5 on your right. FanDuel, BetMGM, DraftKings, Caesars, Bet 365, and then rebet there at the bottom. They have all partnered with me to give you guys access for free if you sign up with anyone on the screen. You have to follow these 4 simple steps. You email support@oddshopper.com with your welcome email and first settled bet, and I promise we'll get you in that Discord for $0.00. It's only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. Halfway point, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we get to Atlanta and Chicago. Again, the injury news has just been amok here, but Lonzo Ball, he's getting close to returning. Patrick Williams, nice that they don't even have the Q tag lingering. They took him out and saved us the hassle. However, is it really a hassle if it makes our life much, much, much harder to bet anything? I would argue no. And a 240.5 total, I mean, that is up there, I tell you. But Atlanta on the road here, they get Jalen Johnson back last game. He looked just fine to me, so I don't really know what I can even mine out of that situation. But when you have 2 completely healthy rosters, this is something I've brought up for years, there's very little edge if you can't get those 4 or 5% guesses where it's like, oh, they are basically saying he's not going to play in this game, or they try to middle a line where they set it halfway between where he's in, where he's out on the prop markets. And obviously, prop markets are where I really make my hay. We've been doing pretty darn good every single day in the old total streets here early going. Maybe not in the San Antonio Spurs money line streets. I need a heroic comeback here in the second half somehow, some way. But hey, we had hit a couple of locks there in a row. It's good to be back on track. I think the model's starting to heat up a little bit here. But I would assume is the guy who's showing up the most for me here. 19.5 PRA. I like the under. That's a real thing that I'm going to put onto the screen right now. Again, Io doesn't really have a path for minutes in a game like this with Josh Giddey. He's been sitting out in a lot of these spots where, I mean, God, he's been brutal. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists last time out in 26 minutes. This is not the guy they went out and tried to acquire here, and Io just outplaying him on the defense. Well, he's always going to outplay him on the defensive end by a landslide, but even on the offensive end, he's been better. However, you get Trae Young on the other side, you get in a shootout here, you give Giddey the opportunity to really get going early, no real resistance. Dyson Daniels probably going to be out on Zach LaVine a little bit more. Yeah, I think under 19.5 PRA at minus 105 at BetMGM is very close to in play. I'll revisit it tomorrow. Oh my gosh, this is probably my favorite perspective play. And anybody who's followed me in the MLB streets knows I like home runs very much. How could you not? We've been extremely profitable the last 2 seasons on this one. We were calling double dongs from Corey Seager and Kyle Schwarber from the absolute clouds this season. There was a third in there, Juan Soto. We called some guys from the absolute clouds this season, and it was it was Cal Raleigh, not Juan Soto. 3 times, 3 for 6. In calling double home run games. That was an absurd streak that will never, ever, 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 ever be beaten unless somebody just cheats or we find out that they're playing baseball on the moon because Elon bought it. But I'm looking at Portland plus 13.5 taking on Houston in this one. And I'm very interested in one prop that stands out above all other things in my model based on historical data. And I want to get a big plus money number. And it's triple-double. Now, we had called a couple of these last season that really, really inflated the bottom line. In fact, this guy was partially responsible for some of it, but I don't think people understand how good Alperen Şengün is playing on the Houston side of things. So far this season, we're talking about only a 54% true shooting, 49.8% effective field goal percentage. That's not very good. 28% usage on that. But when you're looking at triple doubles, the points don't necessarily matter. It's what is he doing to get other players involved? And you get a true center in Donovan Clingan, who was one of the better defenders in college there, and now showing up here at Portland. DeAndre Ayton's going to be out here yet again. I don't know if Alperen Şengün really finds a rhythm. Yes, he's a rookie. Yes, it wouldn't completely shock me to see Alperen Şengün go out and put his eagle on, but Alperen Şengün should be out there creating a lot more in a spot like this. In Portland, well, I think it's pretty noticeable to see Anthony Simons here questionable yet again. I think you could get Shaedon Sharpe. You could get Ryan Rupert out there for a little bit. Scoot Henderson is questionable, but Delano Banton, pretty decent enough two-way player, really can get you a bucket on the offensive end. But I think even Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green playing the way that they are right now, I know it's a low total, but I like the idea of Alperen Şengün getting back to his roots. Swore at home. I don't know why that song came to my head, but 24.3% assist rate over all circumstances this season. That's only 0.4% behind that of Fred VanVleet. Just because he hasn't had a ton of assist games lately, 2 and 5, the last 2 against Indy and Milwaukee, where there was no point guard defense to be found between Damian Lillard and between Tyrese Halliburton. We already called him out earlier in this program. I think Alperen Şengün triple-double is a really, really sneaky bet. He has to get it done with the assist. That's the one you're really looking for. And don't forget, build out over on FanDuel, build out over on BetMGM, see how they look where you build out those individual pieces. Now, Alperen Şengün, probably unlikely we get a 10-plus point to pair with it unless it's like minus 5,000 or something like that, which wouldn't be positive EV. But look at the assists and rebounds. I'm just putting the 10-plus together there. The rebounds almost for certain are going to be minus money at that type of a number, considering he averages 11.1 on the season and is going up against Portland. But I think Clingan is going to give him an opportunity to boost that assist rate. Dallas plus 4.5 taking on Denver here in this spot. And wouldn't you know it, Nikola Jokic is questionable. Personal, he had the baby. Well, he didn't have the baby, his lady did. So congratulations to him. He was not at practice on Thursday, but I got to tell you, at 4.5, this line is screaming, yelling that Jokic is playing in this game. Like, just screaming. Now, I understand that Luka Doncic is out on the other side, and that is not going to be a fantastic issue here. Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson going to have to step up big time offensively. I think we're also going to see a lot of minutes for Spencer Dinwiddie. In fact, this is the most minutes I think I've plugged Spencer Dinwiddie into a game all season long. Najee Marshall going to mix in behind PJ Washington. PJ Washington, we did see, I mean, they went on the road. Probably the most impressive win of the entire season by any team. PJ Washington going up, putting up 27, 17, and 2 against OKC on the road. Now, OKC looks completely different with Isaiah Hartenstein on that squad. Oh boy, we'll talk about that one because it is wild. But I have to just stay away from this one for the time being. I will say plus 4.5 here on the Dallas side is interesting because if you end up getting Nikola Jokic out, well, you're going to want to wish you had money on that, but you're going to wish the opposite. Considering he didn't practice on Thursday, I'll put it like 55 that he doesn't play, 55% chance he doesn't play, 45. But that's not good enough to make this a bet. I'm not here to just flip coins or try to guess on something that we could try to snipe some news on. If you want to know if this ends up being a player for anything happens in the aftermath of Jokic, promise we're not going to get points before then. Head to the comment section below, check out Tails, or hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist. There it is. Last game of the night. Let's get there. No locks on today's card, but we got a pretty naughty little Alperen Sengun potential triple-double look. Did I even give the break-even number on that? I want way better than plus 550. Again, that's a low number. I'm expecting a lot more than that for what it's worth. But Sacramento, -1, taking on the Clippers. And this is probably my favorite of the outrights. Again, we're looking at the 236 there, Indy, Milwaukee. Second play favorite. My favorite prop is definitely the Alperen Sengun one. I'm going to be staring all of his props in the face for what it's worth, not just that biggie. But I'm looking at the under of this one as well. This is yet another one where I think some of these totals are starting to get inflated to places that they shouldn't necessarily go. DeMar DeRozan back. Domantas Sabonis off the injury report. But Harden, Chris Dunn, Amir Coffey, Derek Jones, Ivica Zubac, Norman Powell out yet again for this one offensively. How do the Clippers generate more offense? Amir Coffey shot unsustainably well last time out. That was just freaking naughty by him. What did he do? 18 points, 4 for 7 from 3, 6 for 10 from the free throw line. I mean, the guy's shooting 46.4% from 3. The guy should be starting if he's doing that routinely. So I'm just saying, under 224.5, I think we get back to normal things. And oh yeah, De'Aaron Fox won't have like a 3.5 point line on his prop. I mean, it was just weird updating my sheet on that because DeMar DeRozan confirmed going to cut into that usage. And that does it for a nice, easy Friday edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. So you know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely 8-game slate we have before us. Thank you, producer Jacob. Another week in the books. And hey, for the most part, we got him back on track. I don't even want to look at the score. Do I want to look at this score? I think it's going to make me mad. 69-58. 9 minutes left. We got a little bit of a run. Here from San Antonio. Oh, please. I want to keep this streak going. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Friday.